How often does it happen that you rethinking about something and then you see it or experience it in your physical reality? How often do you have a dream about something and then wake up to find that exact thing has happened in your life? How often do you meet someone at just the right time when they can help you with exactly what you need? There are some who would call these events lucky coincidences. But what if the universe is actually trying to tell us something? What if life itself is trying to speak to us? Life sometimes presents us with signs, strange patterns, or moments that are too perfect to be random. The question is, are we listening? Let's find out. We're living in an age of science and rationality. We tend to think that if something can't be measured or tested, it doesn't exist. But many ancient traditions and mystical philosophies, such as Hermeticism and Taoism, had a different view. They believed that the universe is not just a collection of dead matter, but a living, breathing, communicating whole. For them, reality was pervaded by an unseen force, a kind of universal consciousness or spirit. This idea was later developed by thinkers like Carl Jung, who proposed the concept of synchronicity to describe the causal connecting principle that links together outer events and inner states of the psyche. Jung suggested that these coincidences are more than just chance occurrences. Rather, they are meaningful signs that point to a deeper order in the universe, a kind of hidden harmony that regulates our experiences according to our thoughts, feelings, and intentions. But Jung wasn't the only one who pondered this. Hermetic philosophers like Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary Greek-Egyptian deity, had already argued that the universe is a symbolic and participatory reality. This means that everything that happens in the universe is a reflection of our inner world, our thoughts, beliefs, and values. And by understanding this, we can begin to see the language of the universe. So what does it mean for the universe to be a living book, a symbolic reality, or a conscious being? How does it relate to our everyday experiences? When we think of the universe as a living book, we realize that every event, every interaction, and every experience is like a page in that book. The story of the universe is written in the language of energy, frequency, and vibration. And we are all co-creators of that story. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions are the words that we write on the pages of our lives and the lives of others. Every choice we make, every word we speak, and every deed we do adds a new chapter to the grand narrative of existence. The universe is always responding to our inner world, giving us feedback on our thoughts, beliefs, and values. This is why it's important to be aware of our inner world, to cultivate positive thoughts and emotions, and to align our actions with our values. When we do so, we can begin to see the language of the universe, the hidden harmony that connects all things. If the universe is a living book, then we are all part of its story. We are not separate from the universe. We are part of it. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions affect not only ourselves, but also the world around us. And by understanding this, we can begin to see the language of the universe. Another way to think of the universe as a living book is to see it as a mirror. Everything that happens in our lives is a reflection of our inner world, our thoughts, beliefs, and values. When we look into the mirror of our experiences, we can see what we need to work on, what we need to heal, and what we need to transform. The universe is always giving us feedback on our inner world, and it's up to us to listen and respond accordingly. The idea that the universe is a living book has been around for centuries. Ancient cultures like the Egyptians, Greeks, and Chinese all had their own versions of this idea. They believed that the universe was a kind of divine text that could teach us about ourselves and the world around us if we were willing to listen. In modern times, thinkers like Carl Jung and Ken Wilber have also explored this idea. They saw the universe as a kind of living library full of wisdom and insight, if we knew how to read it. So how can we begin to read the language of the universe? One way is to pay attention to the signs and symbols that appear in our lives. These could be anything from repeating numbers to sudden insights to moments of synchronicity. The universe is always trying to communicate with us, and these signs and symbols are its way of getting our attention. Another way to read the language of the universe is to tune in to our intuition. Our gut feelings and hunches are often the result of a deep knowing that we have about ourselves and the world around us. When we ignore these feelings, we can often expect negative outcomes. That's why it's important to pay attention to our intuition and follow our inner guidance. So the next time you experience a strange coincidence or a gut feeling, take a moment to appreciate it. It may be the universe's way of trying to communicate with you. If you've ever flipped through a book, you know that each page holds a different world, a different story, a different adventure. Similarly, our reality is filled with countless stories, countless adventures, all happening at once. Each person, each situation, each event is like a page in the grand book of existence. But what if we're missing the point of the book? What if we're not reading it the right way? Let's try a thought experiment. Imagine that you're reading a book, and every time you turn a page, the words on the page change, shift, and rearrange themselves. You might think that the book is cursed or that you're going crazy. But what if the book is trying to teach you something? What if it's not meant to be read in the conventional way? What if it wants you to engage with it, to participate in its creation, to co-create its story? This is the idea behind the participatory universe. We are not just passive readers of reality. We are active participants in its creation. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions shape our experiences and co-create our reality. When we understand this, we can begin to see the language of the universe. We can begin to see that every event, every interaction, every experience is a chance for us to express ourselves, to manifest our desires, to fulfill our potential. Our reality is not just a set of fixed events that happen to us. It's a dynamic process that we are a part of. We are not just consumers of reality. We are co-creators of it. We are not just observers of the universe. We are participants in its grand story. Think about it. Every time you interact with someone or something, you bring your unique perspective, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions to that interaction. You bring your story to the story of the universe. And in that moment of interaction, the story of the universe is enriched by your story. The same is true for every event, every experience, every situation in your life. You bring your unique perspective, and in doing so, you co-create that experience. You co-create your reality. This is the idea behind the law of attraction and the power of intention. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions have a powerful effect on your experiences. If you believe that you are the center of the universe, that everything revolves around you, then that is how you will experience life. You will experience life as a struggle, as a series of obstacles and challenges. But if you believe that you are a participant in the grand story of the universe, that everything happens for you, then you will experience life in a completely different way. You will experience life as an adventure, as a series of opportunities and blessings. So what is the lesson here? The lesson is to stop resisting the flow of life and start participating in it. Stop fighting against the current and start swimming with it. Stop trying to control everything and start letting go. Stop believing that you are separate from the universe and start believing that you are a part of it. When you do so, you will begin to experience the true richness and depth of life. You will begin to see the language of the universe. The idea that reality is a living book, a mirror, or a feedback loop has had a profound influence on spiritual seekers. Psychologists, artists, and even scientists curious about consciousness and meaning. However, this legacy hasn't been without its distortions. Some have taken these ideas and used them to create a cult-like following or to promote harmful ideologies. Others have used them as a way to exploit or manipulate others. But despite these distortions, the core ideas remain powerful and relevant. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, it's helpful to remember that we are not just at the mercy of external forces. We have the power to create our own experiences and shape our own reality. By paying attention to the signs and symbols in our lives, tuning into our intuition, and embracing the mystery of existence, we can begin to see the language of the universe and understand its message for us. So the next time you experience a strange coincidence or a gut feeling, Don't just brush it off as luck or chance. Take a moment to appreciate it. It might be the universe's way of trying to communicate with you. You never know what wisdom or insight you might gain if you're willing to listen. What if life isn't just happening to us, but also with us? What if the universe isn't just a vast expanse of space and time, but a living, breathing entity that's always trying to connect with us? What if we are not just observers of reality, but active participants in its creation? What if we are not just separate individuals, but interconnected beings that are all part of a greater whole? It's time to pay attention. It's time to stay open. It's time to trust the symbolic layer of reality. It's time to see that the universe is speaking to us and that we are speaking to it. It's time to realize that we are not just hearing the words, but also writing them. It's not just reading the book, but also living it. Not just seeing the mirror, but also reflecting it. Thank you for watching.